Although, that lighting stinks here. I really got to improve the lighting. I thought I did, but it does not look good. I'm trying to fix it, and I apologize. This is a little screwed up, but I don't know what to do here. Oh, that's better. It's not great. Let me try and make this better. Alright, I think that's might be the best we're going to get. I mean, the camera's in a different position when I change levels. Okay. Welcome to the Flipping and Wholesaling Houses in New York show. I am Michael Pinter, where I teach you how to start flipping or wholesaling houses in New York, or if you're already doing it, how to grow your business. So, got a question. How would you flip houses if you're beginning? The question really is how to flip houses for beginners. So, I'm going to tell you some things today that you're not going to hear anywhere else. At least I don't think so. Two things I'm going to talk. I'm going to talk about what's really important when you flip houses that no one shows on HGTV, and why it's so different in New York. So, first of all, you've got to understand something. What they don't show you in HGTV is actually getting the properties, and that is the hardest part of flipping houses. And I know people think. So here's what I thought, and what a lot of people think. They think, well, I'm going to go flip houses. I'm going to either find super deals on the MLS, on the multiple listing service, or I'm going to buy a foreclosure. That's what they think. Give me 1 second, I got to blow my nose. Oh, sorry. So a couple things. So number one, it's not always the way it works. Now, ironically, the first 4 years of me doing this business, flipping houses, I bought at auction. But it is very hard to actually go buy foreclosures at auction because you cannot control the price you pay for something because you can always get outbid. To give you a basic rundown of how the Nassau County, New York auctions work, we get a list that you have to pay for on Thursday from a third party of everything scheduled to go on auction on Tuesday, right? All the auctions were Tuesday. For 4 years, every Tuesday I was at the auction. And I really spent all of Monday preparing for the auction. So really 2 days of my week were spent on the auction. Now, you get this list of hundreds of properties, and what happens is that a huge portion of them are going to get adjourned or canceled. That means pushed to another date or just not foreclosed on at all. And the reasons are the buyer paid off the loan, there's paperwork missing, all kinds of reasons. The buyer declared the owner paid off the loan. The owner, really should be borrower, declared bankruptcy. All these things happen. So constantly you have a huge list, and you can spend a lot of time doing research on it. And most of them are not going to show up on Tuesday. Then a lot of the properties that show up on Tuesday, the bank has an upset price, which is the minimum price, and that's very often much higher than you could pay as an investor. And then even the ones that show up with the upset price lower, you can get outbid. So it's not a sustainable way to run a business because you never really know what you're going to get if you go to the auction. So what I did about 6 years ago, and what really every person looking to flip houses should do, is to market to sellers, right? And you can get lists of sellers that are likely to sell for whatever reason, either a distress in the property or distress with them, and basically reach out to them and say, are you interested in selling? And then you can buy properties that are deep enough discount that you can make money on. So there are some alternatives to doing that. I'm not going to say that there are done-for-you systems to get leads and there are done-for-you systems to get deals. And in theory, you could call wholesalers who are selling you deals and hope that you can get them for a price to work on. There are options, but the truth is, the real hard part of the business is finding the deals, right? If everywhere you look there were deals at discounts, everybody would be flipping houses. It would be easy. Now, what you see on TV is the construction, right? The demo and the construction. And to be honest, that's not easy either, but it's easier than finding deals because once I found the property, I could do the work. Now, the construction is really the part of the business that I really don't like. I don't like dealing in my area with a lot of different municipalities. So we have, just in Nassau County, I'm not even talking about Suffolk, we have 3 towns and we have a dozen villages and 2 cities. They're all difficult to deal with. Dealing with contractors is hard. But what they don't even talk about, well, sometimes they do, is deciding what to do and what not to do, right? We all think, this is another thing that you think you're going to buy a house and it's going to be a disaster, right? You're going to walk in on HGTV and they're going to play dramatic music and go, oh, it's terrible. But the truth is, not every part of every house you buy is terrible, right? Some houses you buy have some things that are redone, right? I still remember 288 Travis Avenue in Elmont, bought a house, and the one of the bathrooms, two bathrooms, and in one bathroom was not bad, right? It was done, I don't know, maybe 10 years before I bought it, and and it like killed me to not do the bathroom, but I had to struggle with it, and I didn't do the bathroom, and I didn't redo the bathroom, and I will tell you that I almost certainly did not lose $1 when I sold that house. So I mean, it's hard to know, right? If I would have redone the bathroom, maybe I would have found someone who paid me more, but I doubt it. I sold it for what I thought I would. So it's difficult to when you go into a property to decide what should I do, what should I not do, right? Even going into a kitchen, where the cabinets are okay, maybe you don't change the cabinets, right? Maybe you just change the countertops, right? I've gone into houses with kitchens where there's a new refrigerator, right? It's stainless steel. I'll keep the refrigerator if I can clean it well, and maybe just buy the other appliances. These are things that are complicated, but if you want the basic steps to flip houses, I would say start marketing for sellers so you can buy deals at a deep enough discount. This I know is a pain in the ass and is the hardest part of the business, but it will allow you as a house flipper to buy properties at a significant discount, which will allow you to maybe screw up on the construction, or maybe if the market shifts a little bit on when you sell, to give you more room if you're buying cheap enough. So really, and this is the most truest words ever spoken. You make your money on the buy, right? You realize your money when you sell, but if you buy the property right, you've made your money there. So if you're marketing directly to sellers, you have the ability to buy properties at a significant discount from either wholesalers who have done the marketing to the to the seller, or from buying at auction where you're competing with other rehabbers, and rehabbers are going to pay more than a wholesaler will. So it's important to understand that's the step one. Step two is to buy the property and based on an estimate of what the costs are going to be. Shoot, I wish I had water. And the basic formula is, in our area where the ARVs, the after repair values are going to be $500,000-$600,000, you can buy it if you're going to renovate it for probably 80% of the ARV minus the repair estimate. Now, what a lot of people say to me is when they're starting out, how do I know what the repair estimate is? And that's a great question. So a couple of tips for that. Number one, do not use a regular retail remodeler to give you an estimate of what the construction costs are. That's a huge mistake because they're going to charge you a lot more than you'll pay. You need to find a contractor who works with investors and get some estimates in the beginning. At this point, I can look at a property and have a good idea of what I need to spend on it to fix it. That's because I've looked at thousands of properties. When you're starting, you're not going to know that. So I would bring a contractor, but make sure you get a contractor who is going to give you a good price. If you're going to work with full retail prices, you're going to have very high estimates. Now, the good part is, even if you go over on the estimate or under on the estimate, it's important to understand that nobody's right? I mean, you can always spend a lot on a property, but there's always room on that. I was never exactly right on a repair estimate ever. I've always been off, sometimes lower, sometimes higher. Things come up that are unexpected. That's just reality. You need some room for error when you're making that estimate. And then the idea when I say flip houses, understand in the industry, flipping houses means buying something, fixing it, and then selling it. That's what a flip house is, right? There are also other ways to make money. So I've bought wholesale properties where I've gone into contract and then just assigned the contract to somebody else who's going to renovate it. And then also wholesale where I buy something, do very little work, and put it out there in its current condition. There are other ways to make money, but if you're going to flip a house, that usually means you're going to buy it, fix it, and sell it. So in that case, you're going to buy it. Hopefully, you're going to buy it cheap enough. You're going to fix it. Hopefully, you're not going to go crazy on the reconstruction. So I can tell you that for the first 4 years, when I was buying at auction, I really wanted to be Tarek El Musa from Flip or Flop, and I wanted to make this house beautiful and open concept and all that stuff. What I learned, and I'm so dense, it took me 4 or 5 years to learn this, is that really you should do as little as possible to make money on the property. Your house does not have to be the nicest house and sell at the exact peak of the market. And you should study your market to see what houses are going for. I remember I had bought a property in Floral Park once. I looked at what I can sell it as is, and it was old, right? Pretty much original kitchen, original bathrooms. And I saw that I can sell it for around $600,000. If I renovated the whole house, right, probably put $80,000 into it, I would have sold it for $650,000. So you have to know your market, right? And as I've been doing this for a long time, the price that someone will pay, what I've seen is the price someone will pay for like a 5 or a 6 out of 10 house, and the price someone will pay out of a 9 or a 10 out of 10 house has been narrowing. So look at your area and see, well, do I really have to do anything to this house other than maybe just cleaning it up? So, I mean, I could talk about this for 6 hours. We're running out of time. So I hope this was helpful. If you're interested in all the ways I can help you, go to howtoflipnewyork.com. If you are interested in a course, finding out more about a course I have that teaches how to do what I do, go to howtoflipnewyorkcourse.com. If you're interested in finding out more about coaching that I offer, go to coaching.howtoflipnewyork.com. If you're interested in watching on YouTube, please subscribe. If you're watching on any channel, please click the thumbs up. And please keep the comments coming. I go live 5 times a week. I don't always know what to say. Any comments welcome. It doesn't even have to be about the video you're watching. If it's a simple comment, I'll just reply with an answer. If it's something I've handled before, I'll send you links to videos. And if it's new, I will do a new video on it. So thank you very, very much for watching.